Brooks of Indiana.
Pursuant to House Resolution 303, the gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Brooks, and a member opposed will each control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Indiana.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Student Success Act is a good bill that creates necessary flexibility for states and local school boards to best serve their students. Mr. Polis and I have an amendment that would simply make clarifying changes to H.R. 5. Our amendment adds computer science in Title II, the teacher preparation title, and Title III, the parental engagement title. This clarifies that federal funds may be used to support the training and teaching of teachers of computer science and STEM subjects in K-12 education. Simply put, it allows federal funds to be used for much-needed teacher professional development in computer science. It doesn't cost taxpayers one additional penny, and it wouldn't impose any new mandates on state or localities. Instead, it simply provides the additional flexibility to educators as they choose how to spend their federal education dollars. Even with the 7.6% national unemployment rate, thousands of jobs remain unfilled because our K-12 classrooms haven't provided ample opportunities to learn computer science. The situation will become even more serious over the next years. By 2020, it's expected that half of the 9.2 million U.S. STEM jobs, as we've heard just previously, will be in computing or IT related. And if we don't increase access to computer science education now, these jobs will either remain unfilled or employers will find workers overseas exporting those jobs or importing the labor to fill them. This amendment is supported by Computing in the Core, whose members include companies like Google, Microsoft, and Oracle, as well as the Information Technology Industry Council. This amendment will also help more women and minorities choose computer science as a career. In 2011, only 19% of the advanced placement computer science test takers were women, even though women represented 56% of AP test takers overall. And only 25% of the computer science workforce is female, with just 3% of those being African American and 1% Latino. Today, only 9 states maintain computer science requirements to graduate from high school. And one of the reasons more do not is because we don't encourage our schools to use federal funding to support teacher professional development, specifically in computer science. This amendment remedies that fact. Training a new generation of innovators requires a keen focus on the skills that will drive our 21st century workforce. Computer science is one of those skills, and empowering our superintendents, principals, and educators to provide that robust, relevant, and effective computer science curriculum will ensure more students enter the workforce with the tools they need to succeed. It will also help us close the gender and race gaps that have existed in this field for far too long. Let's do everything we can to prepare our kids for success in tomorrow's tech-driven and information-driven economy. I ask my colleagues to stand with us and pass this amendment, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlelady reserves. For what purpose does the gentleman from Colorado seek recognition?
I claim time in opposition to the amendment, even though I'm not opposed.
Gentleman, without objection, the gentleman from Colorado is recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise today to support this amendment that I was pleased to work on with Representative Brooks, which would clarify that federal funds can be used for computer science education, particularly when it comes to teacher preparation and professional development, to make sure that teachers have the skills and knowledge that they need to make sure that their students can receive the instruction they need to have jobs in the 21st century. This amendment is based on the Computer Science Education Act, which Representative Brooks and I introduced earlier this year. In today's knowledge-based economy, it's more important than ever to ensure our education system meets the demands of the 21st century workforce. However, there's a fundamental mismatch between the jobs of the future and the skills that are available in many schools today. And one of the places that we haven't kept up is computing and computer science. There will be an estimated 1.4 million computing jobs by 2020, and it's one of the top 10 fastest growing major occupational groups. And we will have even more jobs than we have computer science students to fill them. Without high-quality teachers to introduce students to computer science, our nation's students won't even have the opportunity to have some of these jobs and explore this emerging and exciting field, and many of these jobs, frankly, will go overseas. I'm pleased that Ranking Member Miller has included computer science in the definition of STEM subjects in the Democratic substitute, which I strongly support, and this amendment would make a corresponding change to the underlying bill. to ensure that computer science will be treated similarly to other important academic areas. And I think it highlights a common sense adaptation of the way that we structure our professional development and expenditures to better align with the real need for making sure that kids have more exposure to computer science. I urge my colleagues to support this amendment, which would provide flexibility and help prepare our nation's students for the jobs of the future. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Colorado yields back the balance of his time. Gentlewoman from Indiana is recognized.
Mr. Chair, I would ask how much time I have remaining.
Gentlewoman from Indiana has 2 minutes remaining.
I would yield a minute and 45 seconds to the gentlelady from Washington. Ms.
Gentlewoman
Morris
from Washington
Rogers.
is recognized for 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Thank you very much. I rise to applaud my colleagues' amendment as well as the committee's work on this important issue. The availability and mastery of STEM subjects really hold the key to a competitive future for America. And especially with our younger children, the opportunities that a STEM education hold are vast, no matter what the field. So I was surprised to learn, as someone that's been working on increasing awareness for STEM education, that computer science is not recognized as a STEM subject. And it's true despite the fact that computer science is the highest paid college degree today, with the number of jobs available growing at twice the rate of the national average. In fact, by 2020, it is predicted that there will be more than 1.4 million jobs in the computing field. Yet, only 2% of math and science students will graduate with a computer science degree, fewer students than a decade ago. I'm proud to say that Washington State's been on the forefront of this initiative, recently passing legislation to recognize coding as a core academic subject. We should be encouraging students and teachers in this area. It holds the key to our technological success as a nation. And I urge my colleagues to adopt this amendment and would reserve the balance of our time.
Gentlewoman from Washington yields back. The gentlewoman from Indiana is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank my friend, the gentleman from Colorado, for working with me on this amendment, as well as my colleague, Ms. Morris Rogers, for her thoughtful comments, particularly with respect to her state. And for their support on this issue. I believe this will go a long way towards guaranteeing our students are ready and that our teachers are ready to teach our students that they can be ready for that 21st century job market. I encourage all members to support this bipartisan amendment and yield back the remainder of any of my time.
Gentlewoman from Indiana yields back the balance of her time. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentlewoman from Indiana. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.